Well, yes. Hi, this is Shantha with Competitive Edge Social Media Marketing. I'm here with Renee Smith. I'm very excited about this interview because I've been watching her all over social media. She's rocking it with the brand strategy. And not just that, she takes it further in terms of helping you gain clarity, not just in your business, but most importantly in your home. She has an awesome marriage. She's, really done things around that, and just she brings it all together. I'd just like to tell you a little bit more about her. She's Chief Executive Officer of iSuccess Consulting. She's a certified coach, not just a coach, but a strategist. So she's certified in really helping you with your strategy. And really what I love about her, she's passionate about entrepreneurs, because what better freedom is there than having your own thing and being able to be successful at it? She also helps executives and athletes. I want to really learn about that and how she got into helping athletes gain clarity. She also helps with executing strategies that help accelerate not just professional growth, but personal growth, and empower people to have more success, money, and time. Time is so important. She's a speaker, author, coach. She is all about brand clarity, helping attracting your ideal client market authentically, closing sales with the number one thing, integrity. So Renee, thank you so much for having us, for being here.
Yeah. Figure out who you were talking about with that introduction. Who is that?
It's you. It's you. And Renee, she's part of my experiment. I'm trying to do more, offering more visual content to my market. And this is my second Blab. So she's really been very patient, and all the technological stuff that goes around this, which is really not hard to host your own Blab. But she's actually coming through my cell phone. So we're just praying that everything goes fine and you're able to hear her. Tell us how you got started, really what kind of led your trajectory and what you're doing today.
Well, I had my first entrepreneurship experience when I was 19. I started my first company. It was a telecommunications company. I was interning with AT&T at the time, and I just realized that I did not want to work for somebody else. I said, you cannot go into somebody's place of business and try to tell them what they need to do and how they need to do it. And so I just started off really, really small with my first company, and I've been doing it ever since. So I got the bug at 19, and I'm 40 now, so it's been a long time.
Awesome. Yeah, that's sort of my experience. I was in corporate America and I just had enough. And then sometimes you look around, you see these people in management roles or making decisions about your life, and you're so unimpressed. And so it's like, I have all these ideas, and either you do it or you don't. So you've got to go ahead and put that stuff into action. I just wanted to start off with clarity. And it wasn't until I gained clarity, not just in leaving corporate America, but also once I left and started my company with my niche, and finding out who I wanted to target, what companies needed my services, and how I could bring value to the market. So tell us about clarity. Why is it so important? And really, people who are just starting out, what are some things that they can do to head down the right road in terms of clarity, gaining that clarity?
Well, I think clarity is probably one of the biggest things in any business that you start, because so many people, they jump straight to, I want to market, I want to get new clients, I want to go into sales. But if you're not clear on, number one, why you're doing something, and if you're not clear on what you're doing and who you're doing it for, you're not going to be in business very long, or it's going to be a struggle for you. So for me, I really help women entrepreneurs get clarity about their business as well as their personal life, because they're so intertwined. I know I was talking to one of my clients last week, and you have so many coaches that are out there now, and they're like, oh my gosh, grow this 6-figure business or grow this 7-figure business, but not really understanding what it takes in order to get that. So I think you have to have clarity, number one, about what entrepreneurship is involved, what's going to be involved, and then two, your brand, your marketing, and everything else. So when you start off and you ask yourself, why are you doing this? It's not for the money, because if you're in a business just for the money, it's not going to last that long. So number one, you understand why you're doing this, and then when you understand why you're doing it, then you understand who do you want to do it for, and then you have to understand what service you want to provide for them. I mean, I think those are 3 things that you have to understand. why you're doing it, who you're doing it for, and then what you want to provide for them.
That makes sense. I'm not a coach. I know there are a lot of there are coaches out there, and what I see sometimes are coaches trying to look like other coaches in terms they may see something that may be working for that particular business coach. And to me, I would prefer to work with someone who has their own authenticity, their own clear message of who they are. And so I think it's so important, and you're absolutely right. You have to really think about what motivates you and then pull your message from that and speak to your market based on that.
And you just said something that's so key is authentic, because a lot of people, I always say they get the copycat syndrome and basically, oh, they're doing it, so let me do that too. But you've got to figure out what you're gifted to do, and then you've got to do it well, and you've got to be authentic with it. Like I laugh and joke and say, one of my the ladies that's in my mastermind, she's stilettos everywhere she goes, makeup, just flawless, just done. For me, that is so not authentic.
It's hard.
I have kids running around, so
right?
you got to understand, you got to be authentic too. And like if you're a mother with small kids and you say, hey, I really want to get out there and I want to be a speaker and I want to be a consultant, you got to be realistic and be authentic with your life. If you have small kids, you traveling 5 or 7 days out of the week to build your business, that's really not going to be an authentic brand for you, because you have family, you have kids. So it's so you being authentic, not just with your brand and with your business, but with your personal life as well.
I love that. So I know you kind of mentioned a mastermind. That's something I have not joined a mastermind yet. However, it seems like people that are where I want to be, or people that have achieved a level of success that is sort of otherworldly. You look at them and say, you're so young, you're doing this, or you've achieved so much. You've really, completed your bucket list. They're part of masterminds. They're around other successful people. Tell me how the mastermind group has affected your success and how it's been able to pour into your life.
Oh my gosh, I actually started being a part of this mastermind group about a year ago, and it's very difficult to go solo or go at it solo with your business, because when you get stuck in your head and you don't know which next level to go to, or you get tired, then if you're doing it by yourself, you don't have that strong support system to push you and to take you to the next level. Also, if you're going at it solo, your learning curve is so high. You want to surround yourself around other people that have done what you wanted to do or doing what you want to do, so that you guys can learn and that you can grow together. So about a year ago, I had to redo everything, redo my branding, because I was going into a different phase of my life, and the branding that I had, it was not authentic for me into that next season that I was going in. And so within the mastermind group, we all said, hey, we want to take our business to the next level, and we all rebranded together. So for 6 months, every Friday for 4 hours, 4 to 6 hours, we sat down, we worked on our business, we gave feedback to each other, we made changes, and it has probably accelerated my business growth by 50 and 75%.
Wow.
If I would not have been in the mastermind, I definitely wouldn't be where I am today.
That's incredible. I love that. When I first started my business, I was only doing social media marketing, really the day-to-day grunt work of managing social media. I still do that, but I also do a lot of training, on-site training, consulting, and that's my gift, is to train. However, when I first started, I never realized that there are seasons to your business. You can actually, your business, just like we have seasons to our lives, your business can take a whole new road. And I think that's what's exciting about being an entrepreneur. It never gets old. And if I want to wake up tomorrow and say, I want to do this, I want to take this risk, I have the choice. There's freedom in that. And that's what I love. So I love that you're.
You just said, go ahead.
No, I was just saying, I love that you're surrounded by people that support you in that.
And one thing I just wanted to say, which I think is so key, is for people to understand that there are seasons to your business, because a lot of times people are in the harvesting, or they're expecting to receive great things in their business, and they've not sown seeds for them. So it says seed, then it's time, and then harvest. A lot of people say seed time, harvest. No, it doesn't go that fast. So you have to sow the seed, you have to plant the seed, and that could be coming up with your strategy, understanding what your plan is going to be. Then you've got to water it, actually go out there, network, institute a campaign or whatever the case is, and then you have the harvest, which is your clients or training or whatever it is that you want to do. So in being authentic with your business, you have to understand which one of those seasons are you in. Are you planting the seed? Are you watering it? Or are you receiving the harvest? And each time you go to do something new in your business, it starts over. So let's just say, like you started off and you were doing the social media management, that was a season to that. And then when you started doing training and consulting, it was a season to that because you had to learn, you had to grow. So each time you're doing something in your business, you go through those seasons again.
Yes, I love it. I love it. So I wanted to talk more about your purpose-based business approach. I know you help entrepreneurs with that. Can you tell me more about what a purpose-based business is all about? What does that look like, and what are the benefits of having a purpose-based business?
Well, it goes back to getting your clarity, starting off with your why, where every day that you wake up, that is not about adding zeros to your bank account. Yes, we all want financial prosperity, but it's to understand your why you're doing this business. What do you feel like your purpose is, your passion is, and I call it your sweet spot. It's where everything that you're good at, your giftings, your talents, your purpose, what you believe, meet your clients and what they're willing to pay you for. So right there in that middle, what you're good at, what you enjoy doing, what your client needs, what they're going to pay you for, that's right there in the sweet spot area. So what happens is a lot of times people do one or the other. Number one, they either do something that they're good at doing, but they don't check the marketplace to see if it's something that's needed. So then now it's going to become an expensive hobby. Or they'll go on the other end and they'll do something that the market wants, but it's not what they're passionate about. They're kind of okay at it, but it's not their gifting. And so now, even though they work for themselves, it's still a job. So you've got to find that sweet spot, and that's where your purpose-based business comes in, where you're doing what you love, you're doing what you're good at, and you're getting paid for it.
I love that. I want to go back to what you talked about was pricing, which has been a touchy subject. I can only speak from my own personal experience, but it can be difficult because just starting out, I started my business about 2 years ago, and just starting out, I mean, I was charging a third of what I charge today. And it was because I was trying to get that clout. I was trying to get those clients under my belt. But it really put me in a bind. It put me in a bind in terms of finances and what I wanted to, although I have a husband who works, we're accustomed to having two incomes. And so I wanted to bring as much money to the table as I was bringing, or more than when I was in corporate America. So it really was difficult how to set pricing. And also I learned that when I set my prices so low, my clients became more difficult. It seemed like even today, the clients that buy my lesser packages are willing to pay less for my services. They are the biggest headaches. They take the most time out of my life. So talk to us more about pricing and how to approach that topic.
Well, you just said a mouthful right there. What happens is when you price yourself too low, that's basically telling people that you don't recognize, you don't know your value, and that people can really take advantage of you, because it's always going to be the ones that pay lower, they're always going to be the most worth. The ones that are paying your highest premium price, they're going to do what it is that the majority of them are going to do what it is that you ask them to do, and you're not going to have issues, and you're not going to have problems with them. So one thing is, pricing is a mindset. Because you're only going to price yourself based on what you feel like you're worth, what you feel like your value is. So I definitely understand when you're starting off, you want to test the market, you want to make sure that you offer a good product and service, and so you may offer your rates a little bit lower than what you normally would. But whatever you're offering as far as pricing, those are going to be the clients that you are going to attract. So if you want to attract those higher level clients, then you're definitely going to have higher prices. But one thing I tell people is that you need to have a spectrum of prices. We simply mean that you want to offer something free, because that gives people a chance to get to know you. They have a chance to experience you. And then your lower price offerings, you still want to have some of those, but that's more of your automated, not you, that one-on-one time, that personal consultation with you. That is that higher dollar amount for your premium price. So you have something free for them to sample. I'm going to use the example of like an ice cream shop. You know how you go to ice cream shop and they have the little pink spoon or the little red spoon, and then they give you a sample. So that's what you get to people like there. A free PDF out there, like you're doing the Blab and things of that nature, so they can experience you. Then the next level up will be a small offering. It may be an ebook, anything maybe up to about $97. Then you have a medium range to a high range product, which may be up to $5,000, and then you have a premium price, which is $5,000 or more. Because what happens is you want to create a sales cycle. I know a lot of people talk about funnels, but a funnel is you kind of come in at the top and then you go down at the bottom. So you want to have a cycle because you want to continue to have repeat business, because the easiest client to have is one that you already worked with or one that is referred to you. So if they come in at one level, then they can just cycle all the way through to your premium. And then once they cycle to your premium, then you have another product or another service, and they kind of start the process all over again. So you keep them in that cycle. Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
But what a lot of people do is the only option that they have is working with them one-on-one, and so they price it lower because they don't want to lose business. So the way that you do that is you price yourself higher working with you one-on-one, and then you have other options that are more automated that doesn't involve you at a lower price.
That totally makes sense. One of my mindsets around pricing was just starting out. I felt like that they probably can't afford it. They probably, if I set premium prices on my services, then that small, because I love small businesses as well, they really probably couldn't afford it. So I'm going to price my stuff lower than what they could afford. However, I went to an all-women's networking event, and the lady who was speaking said, never assume what someone else can afford. Never write their check for them. She was talking about her husband who reconditions harps, and they live on a hill, like a mountain in North Carolina, and they saw an old raggedy truck coming up to their house, and it was one of her clients in the truck. She thought that she was a penny pitcher, like she was strapped for cash. And she looked in the back of the truck, and it was one of the harps. She brought it up for her husband to look at, and it cost about $10,000 to recondition and get this harp in place. And so she said, wow, I should have never thought, I mean, she can afford this harp. She can afford my higher premium services. So I think you're right. It is a mindset, and it's usually something personal that we're dealing with regarding money internally.
It is.
Yeah.
And one thing is you can never attract what you're not mentally. You can never attract it. So a lot of people, they try to, let's say, come out and start pricing their services. I'm just going to use this example at $10,000. If that is not your mindset, if you're not there, you're never going to be able to attract it. So you have to be comfortable and start off where you are, and then continue to build your services, to build your value, and to build your worth. Because you can charge anything that you want to, as long as you're offering that value and that you're solving a problem that your potential client has. So people pay you based on the problem that you solve. And so just give you a quick example of one of my clients. She was working with a potential customer, and this woman was haggling her over I think it was a $97 or $197 program. And she was just on the phone, just trying to tell him, and she said, well, we can make payment arrangements or whatever. But within 15 minutes of this conversation, this woman had just come back from a conference where she paid, I think, $2,500 for training. And then 2 months from now, she was going to another conference where she was paying $1,500. So it was never the price. She just did not see the value in what my client was offering because she was not clear. So it all goes back to clarity. So if you're not clear on what you're offering somebody, if you're not clear on the problem that you're solving for somebody, then of course you're not going to be able to offer premium rates. That
totally makes sense. I know in marketing, they always say, don't sell the how, sell the why. So sell the value over how you're going to do it. You don't want to give them your strategy anyway. So in terms of this purpose-based business, what's some advice you would give people on how to get there? What's the next right step to take in order to get our business in terms of, being grounded in purpose?
Well, one thing I tell people is that you have to cut out the noise. most women entrepreneurs, we are very much information driven. So we're out there, we're researching, we want to see what everybody's doing. We're on 5,000 email lists. Our email is going off, and everybody has to tell a seminar, a webinar, I'm going to this training networking event. And so what happens is we get information overload. So I've got all of this information, I'm trying to process it, and I don't know what in the world I need to do. So I tell people that you really have to tune everything out. Tune out social media, tune out your email list, and you've got to really spend some time with yourself, and you have to figure out what is it that I truly enjoy doing? What is it that I'm good at? What have been my life experiences? What have I gone through? What have I overcome? And I can help somebody else do it. So you got to have basically that reality check, that come to Jesus meeting with yourself, to really figure out what it is that you want to do. And I think that's the foundation of establishing a purpose-based business, is really understanding what it is that you want to do. Not something that other people have told you, oh, you're so good at, you need to do this. I was talking to a client last week, and we had just had our first session, and everybody was telling her that she needed to be a caterer because she just cooks just amazing food. And when I talked to her, she said, I don't want to be a caterer. She said, even though everybody tells me to do this and I'm good at it, she said, I really want to do event planning and hire a caterer.
Yeah.
But if she was caught up into what everybody else was telling her to do, she would have missed out on what her purpose was. So you've got to take some time out to figure out for yourself.
Absolutely. I know that you kind of go into back to money. You go into the consistent income. Like, for instance, you work with people, the lady who wants to go into event planning. It's going to be rough for her at first. We're not going to lie. Hopefully it'll start up quick, but for most of us, it's an uphill battle. What's some advice you would give people in terms of latching onto that consistent income and how to navigate that challenge?
Well, the first thing I tell people is that you want to be realistic. A lot of people, entrepreneurs, they start a business on today, and by this Friday, they feel like they should be making six figures. It does not happen like that. Mm-hmm. I mean, I know you have people out there that saying, oh my gosh, in 30 days, you can make $1 million. Where do they do that? Please tell me where they do it so I can do it. But it doesn't. It really doesn't. So it's a couple things of advice that I would give. So number one, if you are, let's just say you're working your corporate job and you want to start your business, I would say transition into entrepreneurship. Do not walk into your office, cut your boss out, and walk out the door.
Right.
Do not do that. You really need to work in having 6 months of expenses. I told one lady who's a director at a YMCA, she and I are doing a VIP session tomorrow. She was just getting so frustrated. She's like, oh my God, she said, it's time for me to start my own business. I said, well, sweetie, do you have 6 months of expenses saved up? Do you have your business website done? Do you this, do you that? She was like, no. I said, your job pays for you to get training. I said, you can go and get all the training that you need. You can prepare yourself. And I said, just look at it as your company that you're working with now. They are paying you to start your own business. I said, you really need to have like a 2-year or a 3-year exit plan or exit strategy, because you need to save up 6 months of expenses. It's so difficult to start a business and day one, you have to make money to pay your bills. That's difficult because it's going to be hard for you to walk in integrity. It's going to be hard for you to walk in authenticity, because whoever has a checkbook and a post, you're going to accept them as a client. You're not going to be able to really get clear on who you want to work with and then only work with those clients. So if you're transitioning into entrepreneurship, I would tell you, make sure you have 6 months expenses and have a 1 to 3 exit plan. Number two, if you're an entrepreneur right now and you're doing it full time, and it's a hardship for you, and I mean, it's just a daily struggle as far as getting clients, then I would say, why not look at getting a contract position? I remember, even though I started my first company and I've had several companies, when I had my first son, I took time off for him. I took about a year off. And so I basically had to restart my brand, and I took a consulting project. It was a contract project. I was able to work from home and only go into the office for meetings, so I had flexibility. But I used that to give me time to recreate my brand and basically to restart my company. So if you're in a position and entrepreneurship is a hardship for you right now, then I would say look at getting a contract position. And then number three, if you are a full-time entrepreneur and you're just looking to create a consistent income, you need to have at least 3 to 4 different streams of income. So for you, like you were saying, you did the social media, maybe you would develop a program for that. So that is going to be money that is constantly being made for you. You'll be making money while you sleep. Then you may say, okay, I do training. Okay, then that's another stream of income. Then 3, you may say, okay, I do speaking and I'm going to write a book for it. And then 4, it may be, something else. So you got to have multiple streams of income. So if one of those streams is not producing as much revenue as it needs to be, then you still have flexibility. And then you need to have some recurring revenue that does not involve you, like a product or a program.
Absolutely. I love that. I love your advice, especially about being prepared before you leave corporate America. You're right. Companies do. I got my certification in social media marketing while I was working, when I kind of knew that I was going to leave. And they paid for it. So you're absolutely right. Hang in there. Don't quit unless you have that money in the account and ready to go. Just make your life a whole lot easier. And the multiple streams of income, I'll really have to speak with you offline about your coaching, because I'm just now, I see the benefit of it personally. So I think that's something we all need to explore. Even when you have a job and your heart may be wanting to do something else, what's stopping you from having a part-time side hustle, as they say? So that's something that I think that we should go deeper into later.
And one thing I was going to say real quick is that's powerful what you said as far as a side hustle, because a lot of people say, well, how do I know when it's time for me to leave my job? Number one, either you have 6 months of expenses, or your business, your side hustle is so in demand that it now can become a full-time hustle.
I love it. So one of the last topics I wanted to approach, it's really in my heart, is branding. It really wasn't until I started branding myself personally that I started to flourish in terms of my business and getting the word out about my services and my own personal value. So, and you have an awesome brand. I love the colors that you use. Whenever I'm on LinkedIn, if you guys, who are watching this, if you go ahead and send T. Renee, she may accept your LinkedIn request. So go ahead and check her out on LinkedIn. She does awesome things on LinkedIn, always positive, always informative, valuable information. I love the colors that you use with your branding, because when I'm scrolling through sometimes a boring LinkedIn newsfeed, I see something that you've posted and it catches my eye. And so I want to talk to you about that. And, how did you go ahead and choose your colors, establish your personal brand, that sort of thing? And what happens when people fail to do this?
It's funny because I took myself through my program. So in my program, I have an assessment, and it really just goes through helping you to figure out what your brand is. So I sent out it was a 5 questionnaire to my friends, the clients, etc. I said, well, when you think of me or you think of my brand, tell me what you think, and then tell me like the colors that you see. And everything was consistent across the board: vibrant, red, pink, hot pink, gold, or whatever. And I did exactly the same thing. And what I had was consistent with how people saw me. Because a lot of times we see ourselves differently than how people see us. And so I had to really say, let me look at me and figure out my characteristics, who I am. And that's pretty much how I came with my colors, because I'm not a blue or a green or a black kind of person, because that's not high energy, let's go positivity. And so as far as the essence of my brand, which is the authentic woman, stiletto, sweats, and suits, I said, where am I in my life? And what is it that I am looking to balance? Because everybody's a business coach. So what is going to be my lane? And so I said, I am a wife, I'm a mom that has these 2 little boys, 7 and 3. I'm trying to figure out how do I balance work, my husband, the kids, oh my God. And I said, you know what, it's so many other women that are going out there, or that are out there now as entrepreneurs that can relate to me. So before I had the brand, The Authentic Woman, or Business Lifestyle Strategist, I was a successful entrepreneur strategist. I was a clarity strategist. I was all kinds of things. So it took me probably about four different times to figure out what my brand was. And so a lot of people think that they're going to nail it, on the first try. And sometimes that does not happen. You will start off, And then as you get more clarity, as you get more feedback from people, then your brand will naturally evolve. And so I tell people, I said, when you're going to a brand strategist, you don't go for them to create this brand for you or to develop this brand. You go to them so that they can ask you the right questions to pull out this authentic brand for you. Because have you seen people before where you see their brand and then you meet them and like there's no connection?
Yeah. Yeah.
You're like, yeah, I've seen that. So you got to make sure that somebody's not giving you a brand or giving you an image. You've got to make sure that that is who you are. So that whenever you show up, whether it's social media, video, in person, that is consistent with who you are.
Absolutely. I love it. I love it. So, what's going on with you? Do you have anything going on? Any initiatives you want to speak with people about right now? Or?
Well, you know, I always have something going on.
I know.
I'm going to give you just a couple. One is I am getting ready to launch a 10-week challenge.
Okay.
And it's a 10-week challenge. It's free, and it's basically for you to conquer 2016. So many of us, you know, at the beginning of the year, we make these resolutions that we never keep. I'm going to lose weight. I'm going to get something, and it never happens. So what I say is let's prepare for 2016 in 2015. So when that January 1st hits, we're already rocking and rolling.
Right.
So it's going to be a free challenge for 10 weeks. Every week I'll send you a motivational or an inspirational video that will give you a specific action assignment for that week. So at the end of 10 weeks, as far as your goals that you have for your family, for your business, for yourself personally, self-care, finances, that you'll already have the plan and you'll already be working. So that's one. So make sure that you guys look out for that.
Where can they find that?
So you can find it on my website at treneesmith.com.
Awesome.
And then you can also find it in social media, Facebook, Twitter, Periscope, all of them.
Okay.
Follow me at Coach T. Renee. That's Coach T. Renee.
Okay.
And then my second one is I'll be launching my You Are the Brand program next month. Well, I guess that's next week.
Yeah.
And it's called You Are the Brand. Position yourself as a rock star in your industry. And what it is a step-by-step program, and it walks you through the 6 steps of being able to grow your authentic brand and build a successful business. So step 1 is your mindset. Remember how we talked about your business is only going to grow as big as your mindset.
Yes.
So if you have a small mindset, you're going to have a small business. Number 2 is your mission. Making sure that your why is aligned with your money. So figuring out how you can have your purpose and your passion turn into profit. Number 3 is your message, coming up with that clear branding message and knowing who your brand is. Number 4 is being able to monetize it. Number 5 is to market it. And then number 6 is to manage it. Because a lot of people, you can get out there in a big way, but if you're not automating it, if you're not able to manage it, then it's going to hurt your credibility because now everybody's going to be exposed to you and you're not going to be able to give them a wonderful client experience. So you can find out more information about that at treneesmith.com or youarethebrandprogram.com.
YouAreTheBrandProgram. Awesome. Awesome. Well, thank you so much for your time. I really, I know time is short, so it really means a lot that you were able to spend some time, give us your time today and talk about all these things that's just going to make us grow and make us better in our businesses.
Well, thank you. And guys, Shantha is wonderful. So if you guys need social media management, not if you don't want to spend any money, just get all of
right.
on LinkedIn. So if you're looking to really invest in yourself as far as social media, you guys give Shantha a call. She is awesome.
CompetitiveBrands.com.
Yes. And we're going to talk offline about your program and your multiple streams of income.
Absolutely. All right. Thank you. Thanks to you, Renee.
Okay.
Have a great day.
Bye, guys.
All right. Bye.